This is a bit of housekeeping only. This is the very first book that we published, we released, Tapestry 1. And it's almost laughable when you have a look at how it was all put together compared to the sophisticated publication that it is now. That's Tapestry 1. And we proceeded then to a better, more sophisticated publication called Tapestry 2. And this was from a year before last, Tapestry 3, Warp and Weft. As you see, the cover gets better and better, which brings me to the current publication with this beautiful cover designed by, there she is, our graphic artist. Everyone Has a Story, the 4th anthology. And this year we'll be working on our 5th anthology. I don't know how many libraries in Western Australia can boast this sort of a record. We've struggled sometimes with membership. Sometimes there's been just Joe and me sitting there waiting for the rest of the writers to come for one reason or another. They haven't been able to, and we've wondered whether it's time to pack up and go away. But we've hung in there, and I think the last letter you sent me, we seem to have grown to about 12 or 13. Plus, they're still coming in, and we'd be very happy to welcome David, and anyone else. But we feel that the time must come when we say, well, really we can't take any more, because we work from 10 to 12, 2 hours. We read our stories to one another. There's a whip around of criticism, very gentle, amiable criticism, nothing devastating, so you leave in tears, then we come back the next time, and we just grow. So there is, in fact, a story in each one of us, and we hope that you will support it. For everyone who buys a 4th edition, there will be a free copy of my chapbook. I think it's our first chapbook, The Mandurah Line Blues. And also in the library will be copies available of my anthology, my poems. It's all one poem really, called Voices from the Void. It's theological, it's heresy. So those of you who are averse to heresy have nothing to do with it. We'll be enemies forever after, I think. But if you're kindly disposed to it, curious, you might buy a copy from the library. Could I leave these with you, Luba? And the money from that will go straight into Tapestry for our future editions, help to pay that. We don't have grants, we take care of our own. We don't depend on anyone except our own ability to write and sell. And Luba plays a vital part. I could spend the whole morning talking about her contribution and what she does for us. And we're very, very grateful to you, Luba. Please don't go away, retire or resign or anything. We will be devastated. We really need you very much. And now I hand you over to our launcher, John. You've read this, so...
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I've read an unedited copy of it. Thank you very much. My name's John Graham. I am delighted to be here. I feature in one of these little bits, and I think the title is The Man Behind the Sign, and it relates to Woodman's Point and part of the recreation reserve, which is named after me, John Graham Reserve. I'm delighted with that because my understanding is that people who get things, reserves and things named after them, are usually dead. And I think this is probably heartening. Yeah. Robert, I congratulate you on your group. I think it's, from a recreationalist's point of view, these sorts of little groups are very important indeed. And I commend Luba and the Shire for giving you the support that you do. It's very important. Recreation people think that's kind of going for long walks or whatever, playing golf. But these sorts of issues, the arts, whether it be writing, painting, music are very, very important for the soul, as you, I'm sure, all agree. I enjoyed I've been fortunate enough, Doreen gave me a copy, as I said. I read through it all, found it quite delightful. My understanding, and I'm not a writer, my understanding is that you write from either personal experience or imagination, or a combination of personal experience and imagination. And when you read some of these, the mind boggles a little at the imagination mixed with experience that comes in. A delightful mix. So I congratulate you all. I enjoyed them all thoroughly. Right, The Man Behind the Sign. Doreen has written a piece on where I started and where I ended up. It's a bit frightening. And what came to mind immediately was that saying that the older I get, the better I was, because I'm a bit flattered. Woodman's Point, very interesting. I know that you've had the opportunity, or some of you had the opportunity to go there, but when the Department for Sport and Recreation was contacted by the state government, well, we are the state government, and said, look, we've got this parcel of land, we'd like you to do something with it. That's pretty interesting when you think about it, the way it was. First of all, we had to decommission the place because it had been an ammunition dump, and there were at least suspected ordnance there, bombs or whatever. Don't think we found any, but we spent a lot of money making sure that nobody was going to step on a landmine. Then we went into the quarantine station. That was a time warp. It was absolutely fascinating. It hadn't been used as a quarantine station for a very long time, but nobody had been allowed in. And my understanding at the time was that not even the Shire had been allowed in to have a look at the place. So we walked in, and here's this. They used to load passengers from boats where there had been an infectious disease on the boat, and they would row them in. There were two tram lines, railway lines running up to a shed, and the people their gear was loaded in. They walked up through the sand. Into these sheds were huge, and still are, huge big steam autoclaves with great big doors that swing out and looks like a bank vault. All the gear went into there and was steam cooked so that it was made safe, if you like. Then the people concerned, they walked up to the showers, and they're all still there. The showers, a big long line of showers. You walked in, there's a little cubicle, you got undressed, you went into the shower. Above you, there were large tanks full of disinfectant and aseptic, and you were disinfected. And you walked through, and the other end were matching cubicles with fresh clothes for you. I don't know what they did with the original clothes. They probably went into the autoclave. That all still exists, and you can in my day, and I've been retired quite a while, but they've done a very good job of maintaining it. They have done a good history job. I think, Robert, you were saying you've been and had a look. It's worth a look. We, in our time, tried to preserve, for instance, there was an isolation unit. If you were really sick, you were popped into isolation. It'd be a bit grim. The dining hall kitchen has a most beautiful wooden panelling thing which we preserved, but to preserve the appearance, instead of, because it just about needed knocking down, we put brick inside and then corrugated iron outside, which is kind of the reverse of what you would normally do, and that preserves the appearance of the place, and we've done that all the way through. Now there's a big adventure block and a climbing wall and other things, but in essence it's as you would have seen it. And I still have these rather stark images of for instance, the crematorium cum morgue, which was just as it was, and there's only about 3 people buried there, and I know you wrote an article on one. Also interesting in that area is that the bush there had never been burned, not in living memory. Now, everything around here has all been burnt. You've only got to look at a balga, a grass tree, what was called a black boy, to see it. It's not black by design, it's black because it's been burnt. And the stuff down there had never been burnt. Therefore, there's some very interesting flora down there, which doesn't really exist anywhere else. All sorts of things like that. So I encourage you to go and have a look at it. It's not bad. Well, it's very good, actually. You're lucky to have such a beautiful spot. Go and visit John Graham Park too. That's rather nice. It is, yeah. Some funny things there, though. For instance, when we were doing it, we paved with bricks all the parking area, and some local, who obviously didn't like the idea or whatever, or thought you can, didn't like government, I don't know what it was, put a sign out the front on the road saying, paving bricks free, come and help yourself. And we got people with trailers loading all our bricks up, pulling them up from the, you know, so there are always those little hiccups. Well, I hope you do go and have a look at it. From my perspective, Doreen's done a wonderful job of building me up, far greater than I ever was, but never mind, that's fine. I congratulate you on what you're doing here. I think the anthology's got a lot of delightful reading in it and so diverse. I think your cover is great. You know, congratulations on that. Yeah. Yours is the cover. Oh, the photo. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of the artwork. Yeah, but okay, Brian, well done. Yeah, congratulations. And with that rather rambling sort of diatribe, I would like to launch the book and say well done.